Nancy, would you like to do that? Would you like me to turn you where you can speak and hear on the regular device? And then, but you can see the Zoom?
Well, I can see you on the Zoom. I can't get me up, but I can see you and Monica.
And you can hear fine?
I can hear fine. Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah. So I
Okay.
think
Okay. I'm fine with that. You don't see me.
meeting order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United
Of the
States
United
of
States
America,
of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'll do a roll call. AJ, present. Justin, here. Don, here. Jeff, here. Owen, here. Everybody, Nancy?
I'm here.
All right, everybody is present. I'd like to request an approval for today's agenda. I move we approve today's agenda. Is there a second? Second. Don made the motion and AJ seconded. All in favor?
Okay.
Aye.
Aye.
It's approved. We have 3 sets of minutes to approve. Looking for a motion on the February 14th minutes. I'm moving to approve February 14th minutes. Justin moved to approve February 14th minutes. Is there a second? Second. AJ seconded. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Aye.
Aye.
That passed. Looking for a motion on the February 23rd minutes. I'll make a motion we approve the February 23rd minutes. Don made a motion to approve the February 23rd minutes. Is there a second? I'll second. Justin seconded. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye. It's carried also. Looking for a motion on the February 27th minutes. I'll make a motion. That's the work session. Yeah. Don made a motion to approve those minutes. AJ seconded. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Those are approved. Next, we would like to introduce our new tourism director. I'd like to, Greg, come up and introduce yourself at the podium.
My name is Greg Ralph, and I'm proud to be the new tourism director for the village of Anglefire. This will be my 42nd season working at a ski resort, ski area employee and marketing. My entire career, I've worked with a lot of communities on their visitors boards: Big Bear Lake, California, Durango, Colorado, Salida, Colorado, Chaffee County, Colorado. So I'm very familiar with the power that a visitors bureau can have for a community and the things it can do to help bring a community together. I'm looking forward to working with Monica and her group, this committee, and I will represent the interests of every single person in this community with everything I do. Great to be here.
Awesome. Thank you. We'll move on to our current tourism director's report.
I don't have anything to report today. Just the fact that Greg and I are going to be spending the next couple days together to get everything transferred over to him, so he can just take off running.
Well, and I would like to thank again and show our appreciation to Tammy for doing such a fine job, and we appreciate all your hard work and helping with the transition.
Thank you.
All right, we'll move on to old business. The first one is the review of the gravel adventure field guide. I mean, I I would say I think the gentleman did a great presentation when he was here, and I like the product. Just don't necessarily think it's a good fit for Angel Fire because we don't really have any gravel roads that are apparently the type of roads that people would use for gravel road riding. So, but I don't know, that's my only thoughts on reading this, and you know, it's really open for discussion here with the group.
I did a little bit of research and came up with the same. It seems like you need more flat areas to do this. So, and we don't have any flat areas, not really.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a rolling
Right.
gravel market, so I mean, I don't know what other people think, but
I agree. I don't see it being a great fit here.
so, I mean, I guess I would call for a vote on approving or not approving entering into an agreement with Gravel Adventure Field Guide.
Get a motion for that.
So I would just probably make a motion to enter into one, and then we would vote yay or nay.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like the motion that we vote on the gravel. Whatever the formal name is here.
Gravel Adventure Field Guide.
Yep.
Is there a second?
A second.
AJ seconds. In favor of approving the Gravel Adventure Field Guide program, say aye. All opposed, nay. Nay. All right, that doesn't carry. We're not approving to move forward with the Gravel Adventure route, field guide. Next thing on the agenda is a review on how lodgers tax funds can be used. Just to give you all an update, I'm on my 6th person in the state that has passed me to a continuously passing on to another person. The very last person I spoke to, apparently nobody, just to be honest, nobody at the state wants to go on the record saying what it can be used or what it can be used for. I do have somebody that said that they would arrange to get a presentation to us, and as soon as I can make that arrangement, I'll have them present to the group so we can get some more, maybe if we have specific questions about how the money can be spent, we can ask them. But to this point, I have yet to be able to find anybody at the state that can really give guidance other than everybody points to the tourism guidebook, which is very good, but it's very vague, and maybe that's intentional. So as soon as I know more on that, I'll report to the group. Move on to item C, vote to allow funding presentations on a monthly basis as opposed to annual basis. We've already talked about this, but I guess we didn't have a formal vote on it. And so I'd like to go ahead and entertain a motion for a formal vote on that.
I move we vote on presentations, funding presentations every month without a.
Sorry.
Also.
Okay. Justin made the motion and Don seconded to review and entertain event funding on a monthly basis. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
That passes. So from now on, people who want to request funding for an event can do it on a monthly basis. We'll move on to item D, review of lodgers tax funding application process. And I'll turn that over to Justin and Don.
Justin, you want to go over that?
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah. I guess everybody has a copy of it, right?
Yes.
The first one that's highlighted is the funding limits per organization or event in any one fiscal year to be changed. It did have the 10,000 limit. Basically, all of these changes I took from other cities. Like that one, this wording comes from Roswell, New Mexico, their event application. So there's that one. There's the award limitations where we just took out there was a, 100% comment in there. We just took it out. It didn't seem like it needed to be in there. Probably the biggest change is the requirements area. I think Don was reviewing this as well. I took all of that from Taos Ski Valley. All that comes out of Taos Ski Valley. It was basically removing the 50% limits. To me, the 50% limits were a little contradictory because if you come back to the logo, they're saying that they don't have to put anything on their, to say that we gave them the money or we supplied the funds until it's over 50%. So I don't understand how you have 50% and then you have over 50%. So I would say we need to review all of it and then decide. Because like I said, I just took it out of other event applications. So we have somebody to look at it and maybe make sure that the wording is correct and it's what we want.
I reviewed it and, I thought the changes were good changes to make. I don't like 80 to 50% thing, because we could have some people that have a really good idea but don't have money. And, I'd like for them to be able to get their event and program started. Eventually, as people move through the process, we want them to become self-funding, but I would hate to not have a good program be able to be in the works because, we said you have to have 50% on your own.
I mean, the only thing because it does say in the requirements that it's a reimbursement, so they've spent the money already. I would think the only reason we would leave the 50% in there was so that you don't halfway fund something and then they
Bail.
walk away and bail, right? I mean, that's the only concern I have, but I think that because of the reimbursement that's in there, and if we're all picking the right events and the proper events, then I think we wouldn't have that problem so much. But that would be something to look at.
Yeah, they're gonna put an application in and
Right,
we're gonna be able to review it. So
Right.
you should be able to ask those questions and know more about it.
right. And do it on a case by case basis instead of just a flat, this is it.
Nancy, you got a copy of that too, right?
I did. I have it in front of me.
Do you have any questions?
No, I think this makes sense, and I think it would probably be more open to people to apply. So I think this is a good thing.
Like down here in the logo. So here, amounts to more than 50% of the budget of the project are also required to acknowledge the support of the village. I mean, we could probably change that as well if we wanted to. I mean, I would think, why can't we have everybody? They got money, right? Why can't everybody say that they got money from Rogers Tax?
And I guess probably talking with Greg about getting that logo or something like, so people can just pick up something and post it.
Yeah, there is pretty good wording in here for the logo stuff. It's highlighted on the original versions. But it has what they're supposed to do. We might want to review that as well at some point, but like how they're supposed to use it, the sizing, we're not supposed to change it, that kind of stuff. It's these on page 3. Those two, but those are already highlighted. I'm guessing they're highlighted on the website just to bring it out.
Do you know why they're highlighting?
Just to bring it out to their attention to, so that they wouldn't have any questions about how they're supposed to put the logo. Because you really don't want your logo changed up.
Mhm.
Or, once you set a logo out there, you want it to stay the same.
Greg
Greg Ralph,
one thing I would suggest in the wording of this is that either the Bureau or the tourism director reviews their collateral materials and any other things they put out on the event prior to it going out. So we know the integrity of our logo is still there and so forth, and everything's represented properly. That way, if we have a last chance to look at it, we give it our blessing and then it goes.
That's a good idea.
We'll be working on a new logo anyway.
Yeah.
So all that can,
Yeah, and we
Go
want to make
together.
sure it's done right.
wow.
Just one thing, was that Greg that said that it would be reviewed by the board before it went to the council? Is that what I heard?
What he was saying is that potentially any of the advertising collateral really should be reviewed by the tourism director to make sure
Okay,
before it's distributed so that it really fits in with what we're looking for.
okay, so reviewed by the director then.
Yeah.
Okay,
And I would probably maybe insert that. Maybe just after. Maybe in this first number 2 highlighted section, under the mention, the Village of Angel Fire Lodgers Tax. Number 2, since it's already mentioning, please contact the tourism director. Maybe adding a line sentence under there, tourism director must review all marketing collateral prior to being approved.
Yeah, you want to get the most updated version and guidelines, usage guidelines for that. Then that lower section where it can't be cropped or distorted or anything can be taken out of here and just put with the logo and the usage guidelines together. So anybody who gets that logo also gets the usage guidelines.
Logo and usage guidelines.
Yeah, they're interchangeable or they're tied together all of it.
I'm assuming the tourism director would come up with the guidelines with this.
Monica's gonna do it when she submits a logo.
And then say something like all advertising announcement and communications must be submitted in advance.
Must be reviewed by the tourism director.
I think I do suggest that we take down the RFP applications and guidelines that we have on the web page now. Just so people don't get confused since we're making all these changes. We can take those down today. And when those all get rewritten and done and submit them to the web page.
Did anybody see any other alterations that they might feel are important to this?
I didn't notice, but on page 7 down in the reminder area, there's another mention of the 100% for educated costs. Which is what we removed from page 2 of them.
So are we getting rid of the,
Well, that did come from this one right here. It wasn't this one award limitation. And I was thinking that was something we were talking about in the beginning, when you're moving that from it, so I just removed it. Basically. But it still says that it's a reimbursement anyways, but it has to be reimbursed, so.
Recording in progress.
What that was.
So I would say we're gonna remove it here.
all right. Moving that,
It's under, it's on page 7.
the entire thing or just?
Just the 100%. It's just considered a matching grant fund. I think that's okay still, right? And, it just takes that wording out. Covered because of the reimbursement policy. Anybody else? So there will be.
Well, I would, does anybody else have any ideas? Well, Alfred, Don,
I'm good.
AJ, Nancy?
I missed some of that, but, the only thing I think I need to know is that the logo was going to be approved by the tourism director. Is that correct? Anything else? I missed some of that.
Yeah, let me recap. I'll entertain a motion to approve the, amended, Village of Angel Fire's lawn tax funding, tax funding guidelines and application, that were presented, that you have a copy of with the two alterations. The first alteration under mention of Village of Angel Fire Lodgers Tax, Section 2, at the end of that, and where it says, Angel Fire logo, ad and usage guidelines, and then a separate sentence that says all advertising announcements and communication material must be submitted to the tourism director in advance of use for approval.
Okay. Okay.
And then the other alteration to the amended packet would be on the last page. There's like a section that says remember, and then there's 1, 2, 3, 6 parts. The second part down, remove the part that says the applicant must agree to provide 100% of the total eligible costs.
Okay.
So I'll entertain a motion to vote on this with those changes.
I moved to vote on this with the changes.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Justin made the motion to approve the altered application guideline packet with the changes that were stated. AJ seconded. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
It's approved. We'll move on to vote on. I guess we'll go ahead and do this, but it's kind of was removed from this packet, but vote on removing the funding cap of $10,000 on funding applications for event funding. The packet that we just did has that removed, but let's just go ahead and make it official. I'll entertain a motion to remove that.
I'll make a motion that we remove that $10,000.
I'll second.
Don made the motion to remove the $10,000 cap, and it was seconded by Justin. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
And that's approved. We'll move on to new business. The first item of new business is to review the Caristo Creative proposal. Monica, are you on the line?
I am. Can you hear me? She asked if you could hear her.
Is it turned up all the way?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. You want me to do an introduction? Are there people there that haven't?
There might be some other people here who haven't been involved before and.
Okay. Great. I'm Monica Christofferson. I'm the owner and president of Caristo Creative Consulting. We're a full service marketing firm based in Albuquerque. I was asked to create a proposal for the Village of Angel Fire for the next year. We took that to Mint until the end of this fiscal year, so till the end of December. And that proposal includes a new design and brand creation for the Village of Angel Fire.
Can you speak up a little louder, Monica?
Yeah, that will be used, the new brand and design creation will be used throughout all the advertising for the Village of Angel Fire. There is, we've started kind of our asset library for what we would use for advertising. We did a winter assets we came and got winter assets last week. That project is not quite finished. We're going to come back, hopefully, if the storm comes through, we're going to come back on Monday or Tuesday and finish that project. That's not part of this proposal, but we do have summer assets as well as fall assets that we would be gathering to help promote Angel Fire. There will be some significant website upgrades that also, you know, just listening to you guys talk about your the submission process for events. That's also something that we could help with on those website upgrades and allow people to submit those final creatives through the website. So that's something that then Greg would get an email and he would have that those final creative assets from the event planners so that he could look at those and approve those. So those are things that we can do through the website upgrades as well to make your job and Greg's job easier. But there's some significant upgrades we're hoping to do with the website to really try to enhance the overall experience that people get with that first impression when they're looking at the website. There's trade show booths and promotional items in this proposal that Greg would use and his team would use throughout the next couple of years. There's a portion that is advertising placements. Those will be digital advertising and out-of-home placements. So that includes print, billboards. It also includes a significant portion of that is for digital, which is everything from Google AdWords, social media, and what's called out-of-home. It's basically your advertising on like Hulu and Google. And then just advertising, consulting, and design services that we would do on a monthly basis. And that would be working very closely with Greg and providing him with all of his needs as he kind of moves through this and we're promoting and advertising Angel Fire. And then social media management, that's just a necessary evil these days. So we would help Greg with that and doing a social media management plan. And just to kind of recap myself and who I am, I was born and raised in Angel Fire. I frequently come home, and I still call Angel Fire home because it's near and dear to my heart. And I really think that we have a vested interest in Angel Fire, in that we want to see Angel Fire thrive. We want to see the businesses in Angel Fire thrive. And we bring a different level of passion to advertising Angel Fire.
Monica, I had just a few questions real quick.
Okay.
I mean, you did a great job of presenting this at our work session. On the different parts of this proposal come through, as far as if we wouldn't pay for parts or start to pay for parts of this until the time comes for that part.
Correct. So our pricing works. We ask for 50% up front when we start a project. So for instance, the branding and the branding creation would be the very first thing that we do. And so we would ask for 50% upfront of that project. And then we would ask for the final payment of that upon completion. And then the only other, and the same as we kind of move through and start a project, we would ask for 50% upfront for that specific project. And then the final payment upon completion of that project. So there's no way that we can do all of this day one, and they all kind of build on each other. So we will definitely be, the payments would be very spread out. The only other line item is the advertising, consulting, and design services. That's a monthly, as well as the social media management. Those are monthly costs that we will just invoice you monthly for.
And then I'm assuming, obviously, the big bulk of this is the ad buys.
Correct.
You would be working in close conjunction with Greg. And who was the gentleman that had the skate?
Tim Walsh with Shift Media. He's our advertising buyer. So he buys the advertising. And so that's a monthly payment as well.
And that would be something that we would keep a pretty close eye on to see performance.
Yes, so you will have, yeah. So Greg will have access to all of our dashboards. So he'll be able to see how that's doing on a minute by minute basis. And we can give that access to you guys as well if you would like to see it. But then also, as I mentioned in the last working session, I would like to meet with you guys once a month so that we can review. That's something that we can review pretty quickly and kind of let you know where we're seeing places that we might need to pivot.
Yeah, because I could envision, like, if there's an event coming up, let's say the resort's having a downhill mountain biking event, that, you know, we might want to turn our marketing target on maybe Colorado or somewhere where we may be able to gather more tourist potential.
Right. And that's something to Owen that we'll have that prior to starting the advertising. And so we'll know where we need to kind of pivot when. So that's something that we'll be very in tune with, what events are coming up and what the market is for those.
Right.
Monica, this is Nancy. You had mentioned that you're going to do the branding first. Do you have a rough timeline of when, you know, we can start using that logo, or, you know, really getting that?
Yeah, typically 30 days.
Okay.
And we can move faster. It's just your approval process and how you guys want to do that will be the only thing that could kind of take us to 30 days. I think we can move faster. But that's our 30 days is typical.
Okay,
Definitely something we want to get right.
Yeah.
So.
yeah.
Right.
I know part of this is village signage and, I noticed on there, you're gonna help us with the signage. I do know there were some people that were thinking maybe we were gonna put digital billboards, but that wasn't part of the plan on either end. Our digital billboard is just to replace the one that's already exists under the current Village of Angel Fire sign. And that's something you said you could help us put together plans for as well, part of this budget.
Yes, and right now, the upper part of that sign, I don't have an exact cost on that. I've tried to get several sign companies to give me a price. But without a logo, they're not willing to price those out. Because it really depends on the brand.
So we go through that process first and then move on to something like that.
Right, and we would submit a bid for that portion of the signage. And that's just that top part that's right now is green and says, "Welcome to Angel Fire."
Well, and then the underneath part.
Is that digital board where you could put announcements.
Right.
This is PJ Lindsay, Mayor. I just wanted to let everyone here know that if this is approved by Lodgers Tax and forwarded to council, we do have it on our council work session agenda for Thursday at 3 p.m. And so there'll be another work session concerning this, as well as and then the council meeting to follow immediately after for this specific item. So just anybody that's watching this or wants to know, there's going to be more discussion on this. But I will say, and this is just a discussion individually with the different counselors that have come to me with questions or concerns on this. And one of those concerns, and I thought I should just bring it up, was Councilor Humbert with the digital sign. That sign was approved through P&Z 18 months ago, and action wasn't taken. And Councilor Humbert, that was one of the items he felt like, since we had already gone through a lot of motions, gotten some company names, I don't know if we ever got any quotes back. I just wanted to let it be known that he may be wanting to take that out of Monica's proposal. There might be some changes like that going forward with council.
Okay.
I assured him that would be, definitely an item for discussion. So, just wanted to put that out.
Well, and I think it's not only good for our visitors and advertising, Angel Fire, but it's also good for letting people know that there's a burn ban.
Yeah, it's a valuable sign, just how it gets done.
Right. I did.
Greg Ralph, tourism director, and the person who will be managing the budget, working with Monica. There's certain things in here that are steadfast, mandatory things we need to do. There's other things that can be adjusted. And the things that I say are mandatory, the branding development, the asset development, the website, the social media platforms, getting those up and running, the management of those assets on a regular basis, managing that website, making sure we have the ability to either with staff and text or photo changes, or the agency and navigation changes, that we can rapidly do those things, that we're responsive on social media, we get those channels moving. And then when we get into ad spend and those kind of bigger expenditures, those are adjustable. We'll look at opportunities that are out there. Myself, I'm a very fiscal conservative, so I look at the dollars and I want to see a return on investment on those things. But that's something that'll come up, and I'll be working on that. I'm sure we'll be working with on an ongoing basis as opportunities come up with new publications or digital channels we'll look at those things and we'll come back with recommendations. But that's going to be moving, breathing, advertising budget.
It's gonna be live.
Yeah. So. Is that about right, Monica?
Yes.
And then, I don't know. Amy, maybe you can answer this. If this gets approved, that money, even though it's not technically spent, would be not able to be taken from by the state.
As long as you have your monies allocated to something and they can see that it's going to be spent properly.
It's gonna be sent.
But, what was my concern last time was you didn't want to shell out all that, and then they pull it back, and then all of a sudden you can't implement everything that you want to.
Right, because they took some of the money.
Right.
Or took it,
Yeah.
it's not theirs.
Yes. I just want to commit. Yeah.
I don't have any other questions. Don, do you?
I don't. Covered everything, anybody?
Nancy, did you have any other questions?
Let me ask Monica this. So will you present 2, 3 different kind of logos for us to look at prior? Is that kind of how that works?
Absolutely. Yeah, that's in the proposal. We present 3 different options. And then
Okay,
move from, hope that you choose one of those, and then move forward from there.
okay, perfect. Thank you.
Mhm.
Anybody else have any questions? All right, thank you, Monica.
Sure.
I would like to entertain a vote, on the, Cristo Creative proposal.
I'll move that we vote on the Crystal Creative proposal.
Is there a second? That motion was made by Justin and seconded by Don for approval. Since it is a large amount.
Okay, I have one. I
Yeah,
have
go
one
ahead.
question about that. Are we going to be specific about what part we're voting on instead of just the whole proposal? Or how do we need to do that?
Or vote to hire.
Yeah, go ahead and announce yourself.
BJ Lindsay, Mayor. If I could, I'd like to, this is the vision that I have for this proposal. If this entire proposal is forwarded to lodgers tax, I'm sorry, to council from the lodgers tax committee. I would like council to, approve based on your recommendation. So that frees the lodgers tax committee up then to meet with Monica on each individual proposal moving forward after they develop.
Okay,
But it would not have to come to council every time. In other words, we'd like to approve a budget with Cristo Creative under the guidance of the lodgers tax committee moving forward on each individual item listed in the proposal.
Another reason I think it would probably be a good idea to vote on it in totality would be so that money is earmarked, encumbered
okay.
where the
Yeah.
state can try to steal it.
I can speak to that, but we do have approximately $938,000 currently, if not encumbered, could be clawed back of our current, I believe it's 2.3 million. And
This will take care of it.
that would certainly.
Is that good, Nancy, or did you have any other
Yes,
questions?
yes, no, that's good.
I'm just gonna go ahead and do it as a roll call vote in this case. AJ? AJ votes yay.
Yes.
Justin votes yay. Don?
Yes.
Don votes yay. Nancy?
Yes,
And then Owen votes yes as well. The motion passes. Thanks, Monica. Next, we will move on to new business item number B, review of the 2024 Cool Summer Nights request for funding. Since Greg Ralph in this case is serving a dual role,
I'm Greg Ralph, Angel Fire Resort in this case.
because he submitted it prior to
Ralph and Mine Resort name tag back.
prior to coming on board.
Well, and Greg, before you start, let me address just for people watching the meeting. So Greg, agreed to the position and with an original start date of April 1st. So that he could give proper notice to the resort and make that transition. We felt, Tammy, Brett, and I felt it would be more beneficial to bring Greg in while Tammy was still here to make that transition smoother and that we wouldn't have a gap. So for the next couple of weeks, Greg Ralph is employed by both the village and the resort.
Greg Ralph doesn't have any free time. Cool Summer Nights has been a concert program that's been one of the great events that this village has every summer. I know it's been here, this is my 5th season here. It's been here since I've been here. It's probably been here since you've been here, Don. I think it was envisioned by Mike Hess years ago, following the model from Telluride. And in those communities, it's usually been a community that does the music, whether it's Crested Butte or Telluride or these other areas. And it just couldn't happen at that point. So the resort stepped up, started promoting a concert series. It's been happening in Frontier Park. We get between 450 and 500 people each Friday night. It is a good community gathering. I think it's got great local flavor. This proposal is with the same booking agent we've used before out of Santa Fe, New Mexico, the Bus Tapes. She's pretty strong regional booking agent. And I upped the dollars to spend or allowed her to spend this year potentially to try to bring us some larger acts that may have a fan base that bring in their fans to see the show, that spend the night, buy some things, contribute to our GRT and our lodgers tax. So I think if we can step up the quality of the music, we can also see some overnight visitors come in and eventually get to a place where the event is starting to help build lodgers tax and help fund our coffers so we have more money to spend. So the proposal's there. There does need to be a modification in there. We cannot supply food. That's one area the village cannot do food as part of a event proposal. We can only offer food if it's, or buy food if you're going to resell it. And there is none of that. There is the food trucks and so forth. So that'll have to be changed. There's some minor modifications, but what I'm trying to get is a commitment from the village to say yes, so I can get John Kitts at the resort to say yes, to sign the contract with the booking agent to get better bands in here and get it done ASAP. So that's my goal. And the fact that I like music in the park on Friday nights. Thank you.
Monica, this is kind of a question for you on this. So like that money that ad spend, let's say we get a big act get an act that's really popular in Amarillo. Y'all could kind of turn it on to there to kind of get that, hey, this band's performing in Amarillo, and we could maybe get people that would come in and, spend the weekend from, those type places, Amarillo, Colorado Springs.
Absolutely. Yes. We can target to exactly where you want, and we can do a portion of what we would normally be spending in a month. We could allocate that to just that event. We can also, I believe that we need to do kind of a bigger campaign that's all of, if you guys are giving lodgers tax money to Cool Summer Nights, then we need to do kind of a summer long campaign for Cool Summer Nights so that people start realizing that that's something that is available in Angel Fire, and then we can definitely target in on certain bands to their fan base. And there's lots of different ways that we can do that. We can do it by demographic, but then also through social, you can do it if they follow that band. So there's a lot of things that we can do to really enhance the advertising behind even just specific targeted events like that.
And could we make a call on, based on, I don't know, clicks or whatever, that people are potentially coming here because of that event, or is that?
Yeah, so you'll want, I mean, we'll have, everything that we do is results based as far as online advertising. So we'll have those events listed on the website, and then the whole push will be for people to click to the website to look at the event, see what's available. And then, you know, our goal is to really try to get the whole community encompassed on the website. And so we'll be able to track whether, you know, where they're clicking off to from the village site. So if they're clicking to Resort Properties of Angel Fire to book, we want to be able to track that. If they're clicking off to a single Airbnb that just books their location, we'll be able to track that. So yes, we'll be able to show you the results for all of that.
And with big events like this, having the Village of Angel Fire signage logo there, but as well as maybe a QR code or something people could just click. They can click that code and it'll show all the events that are happening, so they can, when they're at that event, they can get more information.
Or a dining guide for that night.
Yes, exactly.
What do you eat now?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of opportunity, and the goal would be for the resort to step out of this event or to become a village event.
Would y'all, I mean, this is just something for you as the resort person now, but like, could a staff member, I mean, everybody has to funnel in through that one entrance. If people, they can just ask them, hey, do you live here or are you visiting? Just so we can get an idea of like the mix that comes to that event.
We can able to do something like that.
So I have a question, Greg, if you have an opportunity, say a better, bigger name band is playing Buffalo Thunder and their next concert's in Denver or Amarillo, but they've got a day or two in between. I mean, we should be able to get some of those for less than the going rate that they're gonna get for Buffalo Thunder or Amarillo. But I guess, if you did some research and found out who was playing down there and then try to call, I don't know if that's through you or through your booking agent.
The agents does that because they have the tour information of what band's going to what venue where. And she tracks all that info for us. So that's what we're working on. Who's headed where and how can we get them here on the way?
Right. I mean, I've had some friends in the entertainment business that have come through my club and done some things for me at a very, very inexpensive rate compared to their normal rate. And I think those are the things we should try to seek out. I mean, the regional local bands that we've had are good, but if you get a name everybody's going to recognize, there's an opportunity to bring some people from outside of
Right.
our, we're getting 400 or 500. Most of those people, you would agree, I think, that are all local, right? So that draw could be, from Taos, Santa Fe, I mean, Amarillo even, to a name or a bigger name band.
Even orchestrate those with bike competitions or when there's a lot more people there.
Owen wants me to get Foreigner here in the park. So
That's right, me too.
I have goals.
Any more questions? Nancy, do you have any questions?
No, I don't.
AJ?
Well, need to get some operative bands and, is that gonna hinder the venues max capacity? Is there alternate?
If we brought in, the capacity on that park's about 1,000. So we're about halfway there, but if you brought in foreigner, you're gonna it's overload instantly. We're gonna have to figure out something else. You know, whether it's Plaza del Sol with temporary fencing and a stage that's brought in or something. We're gonna have to make adjustments if we go bigger than that capacity of about 1,000.
And that may be too far ahead. I don't think anybody's going to bottom.
Well, hopefully we're heading that way. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think we would have the ability to pivot to,
Oh, yeah.
like you said, Plaza de Sol, maybe the softball field,
Yeah.
whatever we have to go to. I mean, eventually, obviously, everybody knows my desire for a bigger event space, so. Something to think about.
Yep.
Any other questions? No questions? No. I don't have any other questions. I guess I would entertain a motion. AJ makes a motion to approve the 2024 Cool Summer Nights request. Is there a second?
A second.
Was second by Justin. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
It passes. That was the last thing on the agenda. I appreciate everybody's attendance. This meeting is called to a close.
Monica.
It's over there. It's one, he's like.